This just in is breaking news. 2 scientists have discovered how cells turn sugar into energy. Well, that's cool. Oh wait. Our reporters are with them right now, so we can find out more about this discovery.
Dr. McKnight, Dr. Moody, can you tell us about this breakthrough in cell science?
Yeah, we've discovered a process called cellular respiration. That's where a cell turns glucose or sugar into its energy source called ATP. Now my associate, Dr. Moody, is going to tell you about the first part of cellular respiration, glycolysis.
So the first step of cellular respiration is glycolysis. This takes place in the cell's cytoplasm. This is when C6H12O6, or what you may call glucose, is split into 2-pyruvic acid.
At the beginning of glycolysis, 2 ATPs are spent to energize glucose.
The phosphates that were added are actually removed, producing 4 ATP. But since we spent 2 already, we have a net gain of 2 ATP.
These reactions create the 2 pyruvate molecules. This energized molecule loses 2 electrons each, which are then accepted by an NAD+ or an electron carrier. Once this carrier is filled with electrons, it turns into NADH. The pyruvates that were created move down into the second part of cellular respiration called the Krebs cycle.
The Krebs cycle, or what we may call the citric acid cycle, is when electron carriers are made.
In the first part of the Krebs cycle, 1 pyruvate enters the mitochondrial matrix. Before it enters, it loses 1 carbon atom, which then attaches to an oxygen, becoming CO2. Also, the electrons from this break go into an NAD+ carrier, turning it into NADH.
Enzyme CoA brings a 2-carbon molecule, now called acetyl-CoA, to the Krebs cycle, where it joins 4 more carbons to create the compound citric acid,
which is the 6-carbon molecule here. At this point in the cycle, yet again, electrons are transferred to NAD+ and FAD+ carriers. This forms 3 NADHs and 1 FADH2.
Then 1 ADP gets recharged and forms into ATP.
Then this whole cycle repeats with the second pyruvate entering the mitochondrial matrix, and everything happens again.
Wait, doctors, where do the carbons go after they exit the Krebs cycle?
The carbons are picked up by oxygen, creating CO2. Step 3 is the electron transport chain, or the ATP maker.
The first part of the electron transport chain, electron carriers called NADH and FADH2 transport electrons into the inner membrane of the mitochondrion.
Then, the electrons are passed through a series of carrier proteins that are also ion pumps. As the electrons are passed through the proteins, they create energy to pump hydrogens to the outer compartment.
The low energy electrons are accepted by hydrogen ions and oxygen, creating H2O, which is a waste product of the electron transport chain. The high concentration of hydrogen atoms diffuse back through the enzyme ATP synthase, transforming ADP into ATP.
But doctor, what's the point of all this cellular respiration?
38 ATP is actually produced, but the net gain is 36, because 2 ATP is actually required to break glucose.
Thank you for this interview, doctor.
There you have it, folks. That's the inside scoop on cellular respiration. I'm Tyler Charrington, and